Inferences questions, or what I refer to as logically completes the text problems, can be identified by the same prompts. It's always which choice most logically completes the text, and it always ends with the underlined portion. Don't confuse it with some longer prompt questions that say logically completes and then the underline somewhere in the middle. Those are not the same. It's always the same simple prompt. Which choice most logically completes the text, and the underline is at the end. And by the way, this section is going to occur in the middle of the exam before you get into your grammar type questions, after your word and context questions. The inferences questions are one of the 4 new reading question types: inferences, command of evidence quantitative, and rhetorical synthesis. This prompt requires a deeper thinking, a deeper analysis of the ideas in the paragraph. And it breaks out into 2 parts. You have the first part of the paragraph. We'll call it the background, the foundation, the hypothesis or premise. It gives you some type of information about the topic being discussed. And then the sentence leading up to the underline will give you some more information about that. I recommend 4 things when starting out these problems. Number 1, read the entire text. There's no way you can shortcut and really get the right ideas without reading the entirety of the paragraph. Number 2, be proactive with your reading. That means pull the ideas out of the text. You've got one idea in the first part and then one idea in the second part right before the underline. Take those ideas and understand them. And if you do understand them, that means you should be able to simplify them. That's another tip. Simplify your answer. I don't want to say so much dumb them down, but simplify them into simple, logical statements. You don't want to make them complicated, worry about all the extra details. The actual ideas that underline the right answers here are, in essence, simple. And last but not least, the key to answering these questions is to formulate all that into a prediction for the underlined portion. Now, it doesn't have to be an exact prediction. You're going to use it as a rough guide or tool to review the answer choices and match a correct answer choice. But making a prediction and making a good prediction based on your ideas as you comprehend them is going to be an excellent head start to getting the right answer. It's common for jazz musicians and fans to refer to certain songs as having swing, indicating the songs provoke a strong feeling like the impulse to tap one's foot or dance. The exact acoustic properties that give a song swing, however, have long been thought to be undefinable. So that's our first part. What is it? Swing is undefinable. To investigate swing, a team led by physicists such and such delayed the downbeats and synchronized the offbeats. So this is the change they made in a study in jazz piano solos, and asked jazz musicians to compare the intensity of swing in each modified piece with the intensity of swing in the original. They found that participants were 7 times likelier to characterize modified songs as having swing. So what's the core simple idea? The first part is swing is undefinable. The second part is, according to the results of a study, changes in the downbeats and synchronizing of the offbeats results in a higher feeling of swing according to the musicians themselves. So what does that leave? That's the simple sort of logical statement that suggests that downbeats and offbeats can be a definable measure of swing. I look through the answers. The match to that idea is the timing of downbeats and offbeats may play a crucial role in giving song a swing. Phase 1 of solving these inferences or logically completes problems results in a prediction. And if you formulated the right simple ideas, you probably set up a good logic statement, which you can then make an excellent prediction, which more often than not gives you the right answer or gets you closer to that right answer. Now, that said, there is phase 2. Sometimes students do this well and they still don't consistently get the right answer. That's because there's a second phase or a second part, and that's your ability to eliminate. There are different types of wrong answer choices that repeat, basically, and you can look out for them. For example, we've seen before in other passages or prompts, extreme language, always, never, proven, disproven, definitive. They indicate wrong answers unless the text supports it. Let's look at these. A. Synchronized offbeats tend to give a song swing regardless of whether downbeats are played. Here we're mixing the facts. The actual text says downbeats and offbeats help give more swing. One versus the other, or one and not the other, is simply mixing up the right idea from the text, so that's a wrong answer. B. The acoustic properties that give a song swing are not easy for jazz musicians to manipulate. Well, first of all, it really didn't discuss the idea of manipulating, so that's not in the passage. And the subjective sense of easy is not in the passage either. There's no evidence for this. A lot of times you'll have ideas or answers that seem plausible, but there's no actual evidence. Remember, this is ultimately an evidence-based reading exam, again and still. If there's no evidence, then you're not going to have the right answer. B is incorrect. C. Jazz songs that feature the piano are more likely to have swing than jazz songs that do not feature the piano. So this is kind of mixing the facts again. We do know that they used piano solos for their experiment, but there is no comparison here of piano versus no piano. So here's a comparison that's another typical answer choice is a false comparison, one that is not backed up by the evidence in the text. So we'll also sometimes see answers that are completely in opposition with the right idea. Again, extreme language. Use all these tools to eliminate answers correctly. Sometimes the answers will be in parallel with the idea that you predicted, 2 or more answers, and you might have to do a vertical scan and see which one adheres to the evidence from the text, which doesn't. You have to develop these skills so you can make your connection from a good prediction to a consistently correct answer.